Hello there, I'm Megan Ennis. I'm the Community Coordinator for the Shared Value Initiative, which is an open online community of over 3,000 shared value leaders who find business opportunities and societal challenges. So for this series, we're going to be speaking with shared value leaders who are in the trenches of shared value planning and implementation. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Ole Kierkegaard-Nielsen, who runs the Blueprint for Change program at Novo Nordisk, which is, Novo Nordisk is a global healthcare company based in Denmark, which specializes in both innovation and leadership in diabetes care worldwide. Ole was also the lead author of Novo's case study on diabetes care in China, which we're going to talk about today. Ole, it is great to have you with us.
Thanks for asking me to join. I think this is a great community, and I'm happy that you want to listen to what I'm hoping to say, and I think this is a great initiative all in all. So thanks for inviting me.
Thanks, Ole. Yeah, we're so happy to have you with us to talk about all of the shared value work you guys are doing at Novo Nordisk. So why don't we actually just start out super briefly? You could tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and your place at the company.
Thanks a lot for asking me that. So my name is Ollie. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for almost 10 years now. Before joining Novo Nordisk 4 years ago, I was in charge of medical communication in a smaller Danish medical device company. I am trained as a scientist from Copenhagen University, and before that I was actually working in Africa, working on how to get small children out of farming and into schools. So that was on child labor. So I've been sort of working on issues that are related to community projects and working on how companies can make a progress in communities, and how companies can actually seek working on shared value. And that's that has been my main focus for the last 4 years in Novo Nordisk.
Great. That's very helpful. I think that will definitely provide us with some context for the story we're going to be talking about today at Novo Nordisk. So let's just dive right in and talk about how your work intersects directly with shared value. Tell us the story of how shared value and that approach came about at Novo Nordisk and that context in your work.
Thanks a lot, because that's actually that's an interesting question, because Novo Nordisk is owned by a foundation, and which was started, I think, already back in the 1920s, and already at that time, when we sort of got the permission to produce insulin, it was negotiated with the owners of the patent that all our profits should go to deal with diabetes already at that time. So this has been the integrated part of the Novo Nordisk way for a very long time. And in what is the Novo Nordisk way, that is the way we sort of describe the values that the company has. We have a lot of sayings, and one of them is that we want to grow our business and deliver competitive financial results, which allows us to help patients live better lives and give shareholders an attractive return, and while at the same time contribute to our communities. So already in the values that we have in the company, shared value, if you like, and creating shared value is written directly into the text, maybe not using the words shared value, but in the meaning of it. And I think that's very important. And then the way we want to do this is through what we call the triple bottom line, and that's how we see a way to make sure that when we take decisions, we are making sure that we are advancing social progress, we are limiting the environmental footprint, while at the same time maximizing value creation for ourselves and our societal stakeholders. So it sounds very grand, but it's a principle that we as a company have been working on for a long time. And to be frank, it's also something that is ever evolving in the company. So it's a journey for us to have these principles, because we grow and growing means that a lot of new people have to be trained in this. But we're striving towards these goals, and I think we can be proud on the journey that we at least are part of.
That's great, and just the fact that you're integrating this completely into, your own core business and baking in social change and social impact into what you guys are doing, I feel like that's what shared value is all about, and it really makes that change more sustainable, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Novo Nordisk is a special company compared to many other companies because of the way that it is written into the bylaws that we need to have a triple bottom line. It's written into the context of our owners. They need to make sure that the company is managed through the triple bottom line. So that's actually a huge advantage and something that we can be happy with, and maybe that is also inspirational for others that may be on the same journey or maybe starting the journey, because I think that's maybe one of the key messages that I would like to put across, that it is a journey.
Right. I think we say that a lot around here too. It's a journey. Yeah. And I think that part of that journey is, I guess, the results of what you guys are doing. And we were wondering if you could share with us any, we know that you've been doing this work for quite some time in this field, and if you can share with us any even initial results or early indicators of success in your work with the triple bottom line and shared value, especially related to the creation of both social value and business value. So if you have anything to report.
No, I have something to report, but maybe I would say we're not in the early phases. We're more like we've done actually 6 value cases where we've taken a look at how is it that we are creating value to the company while at the same time maximizing value creation to society. And the 6 cases that we've done we started out doing a case on climate, then we did one on China, then we have done a case actually on creating shared value in the US. And then after that, we went into taking a look at our pricing strategy in Bangladesh, and then how do we work in new markets such as Indonesia and markets that have been established, but also that are very diverse, such as India. So we've actually taken a broad range on value creation. If I'm pulling out one example that is quite interesting, then it may be how we went into China, because when we went into China, it was in 1994, and that was we were actually the first pharmaceutical company to enter China, and at that time it was very interesting because our leaders knew that there must be something about China, because we know that it is very prone in Asian communities, and also that the fact that that people that have this lifestyle of eating lots of starch is something that, and in particular rice, is something that is driving diabetes care. So we had an inkling that there must be something in China. When you went and spoke to Chinese government officials, they would say, no, it's not an issue with us. So we were standing in a situation where we heard that it was not an issue, and we sort of thought it was a great idea. So we went in and did a lot of work with the Chinese government, and were allowed to enter. And then with that permission, we sort of got also started making memorandums of understanding of how we could work with building the cluster of changing diabetes. Because what is very important is that that medical doctors in many communities around the world are not trained a lot in how to deal with diabetes. Mainly, they're trained in how to deal with communicable diseases, and what we see in many parts of the world, as well in China, is that we are faced with what we call the double burden. So it's both the urbanization is driving, for instance, diarrhea and all sorts of diseases that are contagious, and when we have the non-communicable diseases as well, which are growing, and we just knew that was a challenge for China as well. So we worked with the communities to understand this double burden, and actually I think we came up with a strategy based on training, based on having a high ethical standards that was actually that have been creating a lot of value for us and the Chinese society, I think.
That's great. That's I was actually going to ask you about that example because it's, you know, it's been, like you said, since 1994. It's something that you guys have been working on for a decade now, and that it's great to hear that you're hearing some positive results from that project.
Yeah, we see some fantastic results, and when we started digging into the measurement part, we came up with a lot of interesting things. We found out that by measuring alone, we got a better understanding on how is it that we create value for the communities, but also how was it that value creation could sort of feed back more value to ourselves. So it was an enabling strategy for us, and we could also point out where we saw new opportunities. We know that we had the inkling that maybe we should find out how to go into tier 2 cities in China, and that starting measuring sort of also led us to some new conclusions on where to advance the business.
Great, that's really helpful, I'm sure, to our community members out there who want to hear about the successes. But so now, actually, switching gears, since we've talked about, you know, those positive results and the impact that you've made in China and other places, I'm sure our community is also interested to hear about, you know, any challenges that you might have faced along the way in the triple bottom line journey that we're talking about here. Why don't you talk to us about a lesson that you learned along the way?
I think there are several lessons that we've learned along the way, and I think I would like to start with what I just said before as well. It's a journey. It's not you start and you start measuring and you start understanding what your societal stakeholders are up to, and the more you understand, the more you are able to articulate the value creation, and the more you're able to optimize that. And I think that's an important learning for us. This gives us the fundamentals to be able to identify ways to optimize and enhance value creation going forward.
That's great for us to hear, and, you know, to hear that it is a journey, that you know, you're not going to start out and get everything right, and you're not going to get, you know, you're not going to get your business results or your social impact right away. So
no, but I don't think it's going to happen either in China. We have some good examples in China, and we have good examples from other parts of the world as well. And we don't have the correct answer. I don't think that would be a fair way to say, well, we've done fantastically. We have been doing fantastically, but are we there? No way. It is just starting up, and I think initiatives like the one we have here is important, because one of the key conclusions that we have is that the solution space of many of the things that we need to do to grow our business is outside of our business, and that means that we need other players to come in and play their part in a better way, and measuring value creation for the other stakeholders also allows us to understand and help others to understand what could be their contributions to a cause. And our cause is changing diabetes.
Right. Yeah, and you can't do it alone.
No. We are not an island. We see ourselves as part of a larger stakeholder picture, and would like and I know we just want to take this humble fact that our success depends on other people and other stakeholders being successful as well, and that's where we see a role in this.
That's great. That's just so inspiring for all of us in this community to hear, is that you need help along the way. It's going to take a long time, and that's just a great way to wrap up this interview.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure. It was really great to talk to you today, Ollie. We just want to thank you for taking the time to share your experience with the Shared Value Initiative community, about your experience and Novo Nordisk's experience and journey as a company. So thank you so much.
Thanks for reaching out, and thanks for allowing us this opportunity to speak to the community. I would like to say to all of them, thanks for joining in the community. I think this is one way to articulate, if you like, the broader societal issues into the boardroom of companies, and I think this is a very strong way of doing it. So thanks for giving us this opportunity, and I think this is also a journey getting this type of conversation there.
Absolutely, we can totally agree with you there. And actually, you kind of just said all of it for me, but I'd like to address you, the viewers of this conversation, to go and find Novo Nordisk's case study on their work with diabetes care in China, along with a bunch of other shared value examples from companies across the world. And you can find all of this at sharedvalue.org. While you're there, we absolutely welcome you to become a part of this community. It's open and online, and it's free. And there you can connect with leaders like Ollie and stay current with new research for implementing shared value. Thank you so much for joining us today.